Greetings everyone, welcome to Proof Weight Loss Surgery Works. This is Aisha, your Tuesday vlogger. Our big question this week is surrounding living at goal. How do I stay on track, living in maintenance and at goal? If you have not met your goal, what are the keys to your continued success and staying on track? And I am very grateful that I get to answer the first part of this question this week. How do I stay on track, living in maintenance and at goal? I have a channel here on YouTube, ghrelinbgone, and if you want to hear a little bit more about my story, you can find it there. I'll put the spelling of the channel name in the information bar below. But on my channel, I have explained how I reached goal November 29th, 2011. 12 months into post-weight loss surgery life, I crossed over into maintenance. I affectionately call it the land of M. And how I stay on track, living in maintenance and at goal has really been a learning process. I am 5 weeks from my 1-year anniversary at goal, and it has been a tremendous year because when you get into maintenance, and in the case of my story and my personal life, my story comes with the start of dieting. My mother put me on my first diet when I was in the 5th grade, and I spent that school year on, I believe it was quick weight loss, sort of that plan. And it was, you know, a very sort of strict plan, and I was a child and had no idea about how you maintain weight. And no sooner than I got into 6th grade and had reached the weight loss my mother desired for me. So it was 5th grade, go through 5th grade graduation, the summer, and then you go, in my case, go into 6th grade, middle school. And no sooner than I'm in 6th grade, and I didn't know anything, like I said, about maintaining weight. The weight began to come back on, and I was back to eating candy bars and whatever else I was doing. And so that is the start of my diet history. And cut to all these years later, I reach a weight loss goal that I desired for myself. It wasn't selected by my mother, and I'm not a child, but I still have the memory that you lose weight and you gain it back, because that has been the history of my dieting life. And I'm sure many of you could identify with similar stories. You go on a diet and you gain the weight back. And so to look up 5 weeks from being in maintenance for a year, I'm just beyond grateful that I am not retelling a story that I lost weight and I gained it all back. And so how I have discovered how to maintain is by trial and error. Maintenance is discovery, just like the weight loss portion of the journey is discovery. I think I was determined that my favorite saying that I've said so many times, I did not want my post-op life, food life, to look like my pre-op life. And so coming into maintenance, I tiptoed into maintenance in that I did not hurry back to foods that would really derail me, if you will. And I still keep a very narrow box of things I'll sort of allow myself to venture off into in terms of eating. I know I have sort of addictive behavior or emotional eating behavior, and so I'm always cautious about what I'm doing. And so some of the tips, I sort of wrote down some things that I believe have helped me and will continue to help me. in this journey. But one of the things is keeping the fundamentals of a bariatric patient. I have not veered off from my morning protein shake and vitamins. And 99% of the time I have that post-workout. But keeping protein first, vitamins, water, and fitness. And along with that, having a weekly weigh-in. To this day, I weigh in every Tuesday. And this has been, just sort of the biggest habit of my journey is these sort of fundamental bariatric patient choices and behaviors that have to happen in order for us to be successful. I have never put that scale away in nearly 2 years. I had my first experience this past Tuesday where I did not weigh in because I was traveling, and I was sort of freaked out like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to have a space on my paper for this particular day of the week in October. And I had to settle and be okay with that, I got on the scale before I left town, and thankfully when I got on the scale when I got back, I had not gained any weight. And I had a great vacation. There was some point I was sitting down and I was eating something that I wouldn't normally eat when I'm at home. And I thought, is this okay? Like, it's okay to be able to have something that, would be something I wouldn't normally pick at home and still not have gained 20 pounds. So I'm still learning, those sort of like emotional things of historically I gained weight back, but I'm not gaining weight back. So I must be doing something okay, and on my trip, I reached for water, I reached for protein, I ran for fitness, and I also enjoyed, something that I wouldn't normally eat at home. Another thing that I thought about was having structure. I think some of the most successful people are still people who live in maintenance and they plan their food. They live in a sort of structure and routine. I don't think it's necessary to throw every good habit that we learn during the weight loss portion of the journey away. I think that we should be building on that path while we're on that losing path, building some habits that we can keep well into the future. And then, getting into maintenance and seeing that number on the scale that you dreamed of, and in my case, I went below it. I try to stay a solid 7 to 9 pounds below goal. And so that is like my safety place. And so that, that number on the scale drives how I'll treat, the week. If it's out of the place that I like it to be, I know I have to dial back. And that's the greatest thing in the world, that I'm not chasing, another 15 pounds, another 20 pounds, another 8 pounds. It is simply keeping my number on the scale out in front of me and working, what I eat, what I don't eat, how much water, how much more water. All those kinds of things are helping me keep the number where I like it to be. And so ultimately, maintenance means finding a path and tools that work for you. And it has been discovery. It has been a year of discovery. And I am determined to learn as much as I can and sort of treat maintenance delicately and treat it like a project. I watch my behavior and things I'm doing. If I'm doing, eating a certain food too many days in a row, I question, am I teaching myself a habit? Is it a good habit? Is it a bad habit? One of the things that I do is like this little jiffy. This is as much peanut butter as I can have around myself at any given moment. And so the tool in this is that I refuse by choice to buy a jar of peanut butter because, to thine own self be true. Me, a spoon and peanut butter in a house, a jar of peanut butter, is not going to help me reach my goals. And so when I want peanut butter, I'll get little packets of peanut butter, if you will, and then I'm done with it. When this is gone, this is gone. So that is a tool, you know, being honest with myself about what I can handle and what I can't handle in the confines of my own space. Something else that I'll do is a tool, like if I want chips and salsa and I just happen to be at a Mexican restaurant or a restaurant that sells offers chips and salsa, I'll have chips and salsa at the table, but I don't buy chips and salsa. I have salsa in the house for other reasons. I put on different things, but I won't bring a bag of chips home, corn chips or tortilla chips rather. I won't bring those kinds of things home. But if I'm out in a restaurant, it's okay. There's my boundary. And so everything that I do, I sort of set rules around it and set boundaries around it, because again, that's, you know, to thine own self be true. It probably wouldn't serve me to bring home a bag of, I don't know, Tostitos or whatever they're called. And I don't eat potato chips and Cheetos and Doritos and those kinds of things, so that's not even relevant. But the point is, you begin to learn tools for yourself. Another thing that I have practiced is, if I'm buying something in a store that's, for me it's always sweets, tied to sweets, or if I'm, you know, buying crackers or whatever the case may be, I'll get what I need out of the pack and then the rest goes in the trash. And I do that the least amount of times because I know that that's just wasting. And so I don't want to keep wasting, but I know, you know, certain things, munchy, certain things just don't work for me because it just sort of becomes grazing and things of that nature. But these are things that I've discovered. And the point, again, is getting into maintenance and living this life that you only dream of and keeping your weight down really requires you to be honest with yourself and go on your own path of discovery of what will work and what will not work in your personal space. I love maintenance. I love maintenance. I cannot express that enough. I can't encourage people enough to get there, you know, get through that losing phase so that you can be done with that sort of, it's Monday and I need to go back on a diet. You know, I was looking forward to January 1st, and this will be my, I guess it's going to be 3rd January, where I'm not going on a diet. You know, this time of year it's time to get through Halloween with all the candy, Thanksgiving, and it's my birthday in December, and then Christmas, and normally that will be lots and lots of food, and my friends and I would have some plan that, you know, we're going to go on a diet or whatever the case may be, and that all that stuff is over. Like, I live in a different headspace, and that's why I'm always like, maintenance is the greatest thing since sliced bread, because you really do get to go off and do other things that have nothing to do with finding some diet plan or, you know, sort of plowing through what can I do to get this weight off. Anytime my scale is up to a place where I don't like it, it's simply a matter of sometimes if I just have to track my food for a couple days, or, you know, up my fitness, up my water. It just, and it's quick and it's simple and it's over. You know, I don't know how else to try to explain the beauty of living in maintenance. The tough part of maintenance is saying no. Saying no to yourself when you know you're below your goal weight, you know run 5 miles or whatever the case may be, and you could afford to eat it and still say no, you know. That's all part of growth and discipline, I think, even inside of maintenance. But those are some of the things that I do to stay on track while I'm living in maintenance and still living under my goal weight. and I hope it's going to help. I hope that you know, when you get into maintenance, or if you're in maintenance, that you're thinking about your own journey and sort of having that discovery path and really taking time. It's okay not to run back and hurry up and eat foods that, you know, once upon a time derailed you just because you're in maintenance. Really, it's okay to just take your time. Remember, you're a bariatric patient. I still eat out of small dishes. I still reach for measuring cups. I still carry a lunchbox when necessary. And I'm still teaching myself to stop at enough. I'm still teaching myself to take smaller bites and all those kinds of things. But that's the liberty that I have while I'm in maintenance. So at any rate, this is Aisha for Proof Weight Loss Surgery Works. You guys have yourself a great rest of the day. Bye-bye.